Hi guys, it's Dr. J here to tell you a little bit about new research around what type of diet you should choose when you're trying to lower cardiovascular risk. This is so important for all of us to think about, and I think that when we look at these studies, you guys are going to be you're going to be surprised. So, which is better, a vegetarian diet or a Mediterranean diet for your heart? So we know that these can help people in general, but there haven't been many studies looking at vegetarian versus Mediterranean diet. Both of them have a lot of research behind them. So within this study, and let me just I'll share my screen and show you the study so that you guys know I'm talking about real research. It's just not me making stuff up. It is right here. In nutrition and metabolism, the effects of a dietary intervention with lacto-ovo vegetarian. That means those people are eating eggs, right? Lacto-ovo vegetarian and milk, versus a Mediterranean diet on apolipoproteins and inflammatory cytokines. It's the CardiVeg study. I love that name, the CardiVeg study. All right, so what did they find? Basically, the primary outcomes were body weight, BMI, basal metabolic. So BMI is body mass index, and body fat. And then the secondary outcomes, we're looking at apolipoproteins, and there are different ones that can indicate how much risk of heart attack or stroke you have. And looking at blood lipids, like your cholesterol, triglycerides. They had 52 people, 39 women, 13 men. Love to see both men and women in a study. Unfortunately, as we dive deeper into research, men's and women's bodies are different. So makes it harder. All of these people had a body mass index of 25 or greater, so all of them probably could lose weight in order to improve their cardiovascular risk, and they all had total cholesterol above 190, LDL-C above 115, triglycerides above 150, and fasting blood glucose of 110 to 125. So that's pre-diabetic. So they had metabolic issues. And so this is a randomized crossover study. That means they started with Mediterranean diet or vegetarian diet with eggs and dairy for 3 months each. And like I said, the vegetarian diet, there was no meat, poultry, fish, or seafood. So there's no animal protein except for dairy and eggs. And the Mediterranean diet was all food groups, meat, poultry, fish, but limited red meat intake to once per week. Okay. And so what was the result? Well, they found that the Mediterranean diet definitely reduced triglycerides, it reduced inflammatory cytokines, IL-10, and reduced IL-17, another pro-inflammatory cytokine, compared to the vegetarian diet. But there were no other differences. So both diets reduced body weight, reduced body fat index, body mass index, and body fat. The vegetarian diet actually reduced fat-free mass. Now, this is a little bit of a problem because fat-free mass, what's that? That is your muscle. And you don't really want to reduce your muscle. So they also saw a slight reduction in LDL-C, ApoC1, which went down, and the LDL is what we sort of call the bad cholesterol. And ApoC1 increased after the vegetarian diet, but these were not significant. So the big thing is both can be healthy. However, for reducing inflammation, it could be that you want to pick the Mediterranean diet. And also, as we get older, we tend to start to have a reduction in our fat-free mass, a reduction in our muscle mass. And so that is something to think about. If you're trying to put on muscle, vegetarian diet without animal protein may not be quite as helpful for you. So I hope that gives you a little bit of a thought. Both can be healthy. Both can improve lipid profiles and improve your weight. Mediterranean diet, probably because of those good added healthy fats coming from animal protein. Mediterranean diet doesn't have a lot of red meat. Uh, and the protein within that diet allowing you to lay down muscle, maybe a little bit more healthy for some people. But the vegetarian diet, of course, if you're paying attention to your protein intake, this is my bias, I'd say, is that you've got to make sure that you're paying attention to your protein intake. Because we probably the older recommendations for how much protein we should get in are under estimated. So, 1.2 grams per kilogram to maintain muscle, that ends up being quite a bit of protein. So, all right, you guys, I hope this has been helpful, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.